What's up, y'all? You know the saying, in raising our children, they usually don't do what we tell them to do. They do what they see us do. Example, when I sit it with myself, I realize a lot of things. I realize why I carried other people's burdens. Goes back to my childhood. We have never, and I mean never, except one time, so I won't say never, had our apartment to our place to ourselves, myself and my family, full of chaos, toxicity. Why? Because my dad's siblings, not all of them, just his people, period. They always stayed there. My parents carried their burdens. When people couldn't keep up with their rent, bills, or whatever, they came to my parents to save them. Well, really, they always rushed to my dad. They would never go to my mother and ask. They always go to my dad. And at the time, he was drinking, so they'll catch him drunk and ask if they can move in. Now, mind you, now, it wasn't just the sibling, it was their man, their children, and then one of them, it was him and his woman. Our house stayed packed to capacity. Our house never stayed peaceful. Never. Except one time, one place where we had to ourselves. He carried all these people's burdens every time they lose a place. He take them all in. Not only them, he took in his buddies, just people, random people, period. And these people were nothing but a bunch of snakes. All they did was use him, steal from him, steal from us, cause chaos in our household, arguing, fighting, drugs, alcohol. We never had no peace. From the time I was younger, as far as I can remember, we've always had people living with us. Always. One place. One. Not only did they allow these people in, house them, but when these people didn't have money to feed their own children, who do you think had to feed them? My parents. Because they want to go out tricking off their money or giving their money to their men. To whereas you're not even able to feed your children. But all you're worrying about is getting laid. You're worrying about the next bottle, the next dollar. Never turned these people away. Never. And this was much too often. These people couldn't hold a crib for nothing. A bunch of freaking bums laying around doing absolutely nothing. These people were freaking trifling. Didn't wash one dish, didn't clean up nothing. Sometimes some of them didn't even wash their ass. This was my life that I had to live through and work through. So the crazy part is there was so much drama and chaos to where it's for so long to where it became like normal in my household. There is nothing normal about that. Nothing. These people brought nothing to the table, but always had their hands out like someone owed them something. How the hell do anybody owe you anything when they have already provided a roof over your head? You're not all on the street. Living trifling. And we had to clean up behind these people. And this is another area where my mom failed us. Both of them. How in the world you got all these people living here and you only have your children cleaning up? What kind of shit is that? Then you ask her the question, oh, why didn't you ever get rid of these people? At this time, my dad had an accident and he was in a wheelchair up until his last days. So like I said, the only one apartment that we had was when he was in the hospital for about, I want to say 8, maybe 9 months. That's the only reason why we had our place to ourselves. And my mom didn't let anyone live there. I used to go and visit my aunt. One summer I went over there. Now I'm going for the summer. So while in the household, I had a week to wash dishes. My sister had a week. Every week. This woman would actually call me up to make sure I come back home for a week to do dishes when I'm not even in the damn house. You got all these grown ass people and you will never make them do anything. Where was the backbone? Oh, my bad. It's always your dad, your dad, your dad. No, y'all was a married couple. You had some say so. You could have stopped these people at the door. What could he have done? Get mad? He would have got over it. But this woman used to make me come all the way from the west side of Chicago, northwest, west, whatever. And we were all the way up north just to come home to do dishes behind all these nasty, trifling ass people. Really? I'm gone for the summer. Why in the hell do I have to come home to wash dishes for a week when I'm not even here? That was just some BS in itself. I never liked that. But hey, I'm a teenager. What can I do about it? But that just bothered me. Why do I have to travel over an hour to come from out there to come to your house for a week or home for a week to do dishes and I'm not even there because you couldn't tell these people to get up and clean your house because they were effing it up real bad. Not only did they mess up the inside, they caused a lot of chaos and fights on the outside. Let me tell y'all something. The sad part is my parents paid their rent all the time. But you know why we had to move? Is because his people. All the arguments, the fights, the breaking this, breaking that. Every time. That's why we had to move. It was never anything that we did. It was always something that his people did. And what happens? Get a new place. And you let these same toxic, lazy, trifling people come back and screw up yet another house. Why? And if they did go off and get another apartment, it wouldn't last but a few months till they was right back at our door, sliding in my dad's ear. These people didn't contribute anything, not nothing, but chaos and drama. That's it. That's all. Just a shame. And that used to irritates my soul, even as a teen, as a youngin. Why? Why? And then his other brother, bad, 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 bad drug addict, thief. He had stolen from my dad, and so did his sister's man so many times. And yet he still kept these thieving leeches around him. Why? I have no idea. Why? I have no clue. But he kept them around, and they did absolutely nothing but rob him, and then sit right in his face and help him look for it. These people were snakes. They didn't have no genuine care or love for my dad. The only thing they cared about is what he can do for them. Money was taken from us to help them, only for them to screw it off and end up right back under our roof. Crazy work. And this is what we had to go through. Another thing, these people really, they never cared about us, period. Not for real. Their main priority is their oldest niece, beside their children. Sometimes not even that. His sister used to leave her kids behind for a few days at a time, leave them with no food. And my mom used to feel sorry and feed them until she got tired of it. She stopped. 3 kids. That was not her responsibility, not her burden. But you leave your kids behind just to go and get up under another man. Just crazy. That irritated me. I hated that. We couldn't never had our own peace. So when I went through that situation with that past person and all the chaos and the trauma, it just took me back. And like I used to say, look here, I grew up around this shit. I'd be damned if I'm gonna be living in my own house with it. Not to say that we didn't have any good times, with our parents or whatever. But where was the backbone? They couldn't say no. you know? And then this is who I ended up becoming. Wanting to please people, not say no. When you really wanted to, your soul wanted to, but you just couldn't turn people away. You couldn't say no, but sometimes we learn lessons by not saying no. We learn lessons. And the greatest teacher is life and the giver of life, our greatest teachers. He has a wisdom we can never comprehend. He puts us in situations that we don't comprehend. It's to wake you up. It's to wake you up and redirect your paths. So I thank my Heavenly Father every day for removing me from the drama, the chaos that I have been dealing with pretty much all my life. And in my household and in my last workplace, the same madness. Shame it took what it had to take to wake me up. But everything, there is no coincidences. Everything is divinely orchestrated. So everything that happened was meant to happen. And it can either build you or break you. It's your choice. Yeah, these people, they were no good. Your own siblings. Your own siblings snaking you. Your own siblings. But yet, you never got rid of them. Rest in peace to you, Pops. But I did not like that one bit. How you kept those snakes in your circle and around your family, around in your household, around your children. They were no good for any of us. Not you, not the household, not anyone. But yeah, that's how I ended up in the same situation. Not saying no, carrying other people's burdens, carrying burdens that did not belong to me. Then people want to keep loading you up with their burdens until I said enough. God said enough. It's over. So these are lessons I had to learn. from the things that I saw and was not told. You don't experience anything, you won't learn anything. You won't grow in life. That's what it's all about. But however, more coming about the snakes I had in my circle. Talk to you guys later.